Hello there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a UFO activity video. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I figured I'd shoot one out. I saw a number of articles the other day on USOs. And a USO, if you're not familiar, is an unidentified submerged object. There are a lot of UFOs that are seen entering and exiting our world's oceans and some of our bigger lakes. USO is essentially an object of unknown origin observed or detected underwater or while entering and or leaving the water. These are essentially UFOs, but underwater. The first modern USO was reported in 1924, which predates the UFO USO terminology. So it wasn't actually classified as one because the terminology wasn't there yet. This happened on July 1st, 1924. A pilot spotted two huge objects in the Hudson River. USOs have been reported for hundreds of years. They just didn't call them USOs. Explorers reported seeing things in lakes, ostensibly creatures, but we don't know what they were because we're going by what the person wrote, and it's kind of vague. Underwater objects were spotted leaving lakes and oceans by ship captains, notably Christopher Columbus, among others, and this goes far back in history. Since 1945, dozens of military personnel have had recorded sightings of USOs, and this is all around the world. All the militaries around the world. Ship captains all around the world. Steamers, sailing ships, that kind of thing. In 1963, off the coast of Puerto Rico, American warships conducting anti-submarine warfare exercises tracked a USO for several days. The USO exceeded 150 knots. Modern submarines usually max out around 45 knots. So this was not a submarine. The USO made rapid dives down to 27,000 feet in seconds. Submarines can't do that. They get crushed. Submarines rely on a gradual descent. If a submarine drops like that, the water pressure will kill it. October 4th, 1967, in Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia, Canada, Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigated a crash, what they thought was an airplane crash. At least 11 civilians saw a 60-foot object hover over the water and then submerge. No sound. It did not emit any sound whatsoever, and there was no splash. It's just right down into the water. There was no, it didn't have the splash when something goes in the water. There are USOs spotted in every ocean and sea, and in many large lakes all around the world. As a matter of fact, the Great Lakes right here in America are evidently hotspots for UFOs and USOs. Here's the question I think that needs to be asked. The world is mostly water, 70+%, over 70% water, covered with water. The vast majority of the world's oceans are unexplored. Are there hundreds, we have no idea how many, USO bases under the oceans, or we're just not aware of them? Let me reiterate a story I heard the other day. American warships were tracking a USO. And this USO, apparently there might have been something wrong with it, or it was being cornered, it felt like it was being cornered or whatever, because it sent out a signal, and another USO showed up real quick, faster than any submarine could. So either there was a base right there that we can't detect with our radar, sonar, whatever, or that thing has the ability to travel instantaneously anywhere on our planet, underwater. Either one is really freaking scary. This could be a potentially serious threat to the world. If thousands of these USOs are in our oceans and lakes, this would be a strategic, tactical nightmare to defend against. Our military, all militaries around the world would be simultaneously overwhelmed. if you've paid attention to what UFOs are perceived doing, they're any military would be hard pressed to stop one of them. Imagine if there were thousands and thousands of them coming out of the oceans all at the same time. It's just, we would be overwhelmed almost immediately, and it would be a nightmare. So I don't know what these USOs are, and I don't know how many there are, and nobody does. But to me, as a military veteran, I think in terms of tactics and strategy and how do I defend against blah? Well, I don't know a way to defend against that. I don't think there is a way, not with our current technology. We could have laser gun emplacements and not be able to defend against that. And by the way, our naval ships right now are being outfitted with lasers for defense against missiles. They're working on different weapon systems for armored vehicles and things like that as well. My contention is, if thousands of these things come out of the ocean, we're screwed. That's all there is to it. Anyway, put stuff in the comments. I'd love to read them. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.